है और महंगाई
Assalamu alaikum
आपकी
students. My name
28%
is
तक
Zishan
पहुंच गई
Akbar.
है, जो
And
12-13%
in
तक थी।
this video lecture,
अभी इस
I will
साल
let you
कीमत
know
खुलने
that how can you write an effective research proposal. So this video is basically about the introduction of the importance of a research proposal and what a research proposal may be. But in next video, I will let you know and I will define different components of a research proposal. So the first of all, we have to know that what the research proposal is. The first part is related to three questions. Mean we have to answer three questions whenever we are going to write a research proposal. The first question is that what will you investigate in your research project? Whenever you are going to write a research proposal, then there will be a research project behind this research proposal. So you will have to clearly understand that what will be your point of ponder, then what will you be investigating in your research project. The second question is why your research is too important in your area of interest, that either it will contribute or not in your subject area. And the third and last question is how will you conduct your research, that what will be the methods you will be adopting. Mean this ponders on the methodology of your research project. Either your research is feasible or not. Either you can conduct it in within given time frame or not. So basically, we can set our research proposal by investigating these three questions. If you have clear answers of these three questions, then yes, you can write an effective research proposal. So let's go with it. The research proposal is basically a blueprint and guide for your research plan. Let us suppose you have planned for a research project and you want to get your ideas clear by reading a paper, then you have to research a research proposal. The second thing is it will help you to organize your research work and you will feel confident after organizing your research proposal. And it is a source to get a funding from for your project from any funder, either from government, from university, or from your supervisor. And at last, it helps to dictate your idea to others. If you have a simplified language in your research proposal, you have prepared a research proposal report and you have submitted to anyone at maybe your university, your supervisor, or any funder or government, and you have submitted your research proposal to anyone, he will it will read your project report or your proposal idea, and if your idea is impressive, so it will be your research proposal which will be speaking in front of the person in your absence. If your research proposal is good and it can dictate your idea to others, then it will be beneficial for your research project. So, what are the aims of a research proposal? So, it means that what should you achieve at the end of a research proposal? When you have written a complete research proposal, then what should be your aim? The first thing is that your research proposal should be relevant. How it can be relevant? So, the relevance shows that your project is interesting, that you have a proper knowledge of your research project which you are going to design or you are going to adopt during your studies or in any company or for any country or for any institution. And make sure this is the critical point of a research proposal, that if you are going to do a research project on a serious note, then your research project should be original and your research topic should be original. And the most important thing is that how much this project is relevant to your area, that how can this project contribute in your respective subject area. So the next thing that a research proposal should be aimed at is the context, and it is the proper context which can send your idea, which can uh, dictate your idea to others. And how can you dictate your research to other people's in a clear way? It is only possible if you are well familiar to your project. If you have some ambiguous ideas about your research work in your mind, then you cannot pass those ideas to others, so your research proposal will not be an effective thing. So you have to be well familiar to your project to pass your ideas to others. And the next thing is that you are comfortable with your project, means you are comfortable with the execution of the project, you have the resources, you have the time frame to complete that project, then you are going 100% okay with respect to context. And the next thing is that you are aware of the current status of your research area. It means that you have to choose a topic which is up to date. If your topic is not up to date and you have adopted an old topic, then people studying your research proposal will not put a little bit of interest to your research project, and your research proposal may be rejected. So you have to be well aware of the current status of your research area so that you can win as much funding as you can. The next thing is the next aim of the research proposal is the approach, that how you approach or how you demonstrate your methodology of research, that how will you be accomplishing your research methodology, or how will you complete this research work in the laboratory or on any other grounds. So how you will calculate the data, how which tools and how you will be using those tools in your research project, and this will specify the procedures or methods which you will adopt during your research project. And the next and last thing in the aims of for writing a research proposal is the achievability. This achievability clears that your project will be done within the given time frame. Let us suppose you have a project and your supervisor allots you 6 months to complete that project, and you are going to choose a topic which can never be done in 6 months at any cost. So it means that your research proposal will be rejected because you have a time frame of 6 months. So simply you have to choose a topic that will be done within the given time frame. If your time for the research topic is given beyond the time frame, then you will have to discuss it with your supervisor, your institution, your company, or you have to change this research topic so you can complete it within given time frame. The next thing is your research will be conducted with available funds. If your project is a funded project by any institute or from government or through your supervisor from your university, then you have to complete your research with the available funds, and you have to create a rough idea about the resources or funds eh, ac- that are to be invested on your research project. So, what should be the length? This is a and most important question. This is the most important question which a person who is preparing a research proposal should ask. So, a simple answer can be given. It depends upon your degree program. If, for example, if you are a bachelor's or master research student, then your project may be a shorter. Your proposal may be a shorter length proposal. It may be from 10 to 20 pages on average. But if you are a PhD student or you are going to take a PhD research, it may be a longer and more detailed research. But who has the authority to decide the length of a research proposal? It is the supervisor who will decide and who will guide you to decide the length of your proposal. He may assign a 10 pages proposal to you. He may assign a 50 pages proposal to you. He has the whole authority who will guide you to decide the length of the proposal. So there is a trick to decide the length of a proposal. Simply, you have to think about the thesis or dissertation of your study, and you will create a shorter version. Mean you have to think about a shorter version. You have to think about the summaries, shorter summaries of your thesis or dissertation, and you will have to exclude. Mean you have to write the shorter version of the thesis or dissertation, but without results, conclusion, and discussion parts. If you exclude the results, conclusion, and discussions part from your thesis and you write a shorter version of this thesis, then you will uh, save as or you will keep it as your research proposal. You can refine it according the instructions of your supervisor. So, for a research proposal, a typical structure can be seen, and in a typical structure, there should be two things for a research proposal. There are some essential parts which are a must for any research proposal, and there are some optional parts which can be or cannot be in any research proposal. For example, in this you can see in blue, in light background parts, we have this abstract and table of contents, this research schedule, and this budget allocation. These parts are optional parts. It means that we can exclude these parts from our research proposal, but title page is mandatory, on which your title of the research project will be written. Introduction part is mandatory. Literature review of the previous literature is mandatory. Research design and methodology of research accomplishment is necessary. Implication and contribution mean what is the new idea, what is the novelty of your research. You will mention this in your research proposal, and at last you will write the reference list. So you can say that there are six parts, there are six essential parts of research proposal that we have to write for any project. So if you want to include, if your project is a funded project, then surely you will have to include the budget of the project. And if your project is time bound, then you will have also to include the research schedule. You can take the help of Gantt chart to prepare the research schedule. And this is sometimes odd to include the abstract, but you can include table of content most of the times in any research proposal. The essential part of a research proposal are, the first part is title page, on which there will be your name, your supervisor name, or your funding company, and your first of all you will write the title of your project. Next one is the introduction. You will tell about the background. You will tell about the novelty in your research. You will tell about the problem statement in your area of your project. You can identify the problems, aims of your research, and you can also identify the objectives of your research work. And then you will write down the literature review. You will take the relevant data of previous researchers, which is most relevant to your research work or research project, and you will ponder on that data. You will extract uh, data to relate it to your present research, and then you will tell about the research design or methodology you will be adopting your during your research project, and at last you will include the reference list. So these five parts are mandatory parts for any research proposal. In this you can see here we have three research proposal examples or research proposal idea. In first instance you can see here the title of the proposed research project, and second you can write it as the specific aims, that what your research project is aimed at, then what will you be getting at the end of the research. And in third you can write down the background or literature review about the subject, and here you can write in the fourth chapter as the research methods which you will be adopting during your research. And at last you can tell about the timeline of the research project, that and how much time your research will be accomplished, and how much resources will require how much time. And at last you will write down the literature cited, mean you can prepare a list of references at the end of this proposal. So this is an idea to prepare a proposal. So next idea is about the you can divide your research proposal in different chapters. For example, first chapter is about the introduction. Next chapter is the problem statement, that why you are going to adopt this specific project to work in your field. And next one is the objectives of your research, that what will you be obtaining, and what is your aim at the end of the research project. What are you going to obtain or deduce at the end of the research. This is preliminary literature review. So, mean it is the study of the literature by previous researchers. And the fifth chapter is about the methodology, that how will you attain these objectives? How will you, means chapter 5 is directly related to chapter 3. And at last, you will include the list of references. Another example of a research proposal is given. At the first chapter, you will write the title of the project, and second, you will describe the description and goals of the project, and third, you will uh, let the reader or your supervisor know the hypothesis being tested, that what is the aim, simply. or what is the aim of your research, and next is your accomplishment, mean why the research is important, what are you going to accomplish at the end of your research. And the fifth chapter is research techniques or research methods or research design, which you will follow during your research project. And at the sixth chapter is about your supervisor, and seventh is the status of project. Then uh, is your project a part of any other project, or you are going to accomplish a free project that it is not interlinked with any other project. And at last you will include the list of references. So there are two approaches. First approach is the traditional approach to write a proposal, and the next approach is the three chapter approach. So simply the traditional approach includes the title page first thing, then the table of contents, then the introduction. So if you are going to write a research proposal by following the traditional approach, then the first page of your proposal should be title page. Next should be table of contents. It may have table of figures or table of uh, various parameters. And then introduction will include subheadings of background, problem statement, literature review, etc. It will five further parts. And the next chapter will be methods. This is the second chapter of your research proposal. Methods, it will include these three subparts. And next, data analysis, and then references. You will conclude this traditional approach by adopting the four chapters and two chapters with different subheading headings. And next approach is the three chapter approach. It includes same the title page, table of contents, but it is the chapter wise approach to write the research proposal. Chapter 1 is the introduction. It includes four parts. First one is the statement of purpose, research aims and objectives, limitation of your research work, and the key terms or keywords which are written at the end of the introduction chapter, that on which words critically your research project will be going through. And chapter 2 is about the literature review. In this, you can divide this whole chapter into segments, or you can write it as a single chapter. I mean, you can divide if your research is divided into different segments. Mean your research project has different things to work on. So then you can divide those this literature review chapter in those segments. You can derive subheadings from this chapter. And chapter 3 is about the methods. It will includes four things: instruments, research methodology, procedure, and data analysis. And next uh, are references and then appendices. So in the next lecture, we will discuss about the different parts of a research proposal, that how can we write, for example, if we are in this approach, three chapter approach, and what should we write in title page and table of contents, or specifically an introduction, what is statement of purpose. So we will discuss one by one all these parts of these two approaches. First of all, I will discuss about the traditional approach, and I will discuss these components of a traditional approach, that how can we write a research proposal by following a traditional approach. Then we will discuss three chapter approach to write a research proposal. Thank you very much. Wait for the next video.